Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I know a lot of you think about. You get pretty fluent in English, maybe technically very good, but you still feel like you want to sound more natural, like you grew up with it.
Yeah, exactly. That gap between knowing the language and sounding like you really live in it.
Right. And our source today is basically us listening in on this great chat between Alex, who's going through exactly this, and Jordan, who helps learners out.
It's a really common scenario. People put in so much work, reach a high level, but then there's that final polish, that desire for authentic delivery.
So that's our mission here. Pull apart this conversation, find the actionable stuff, the tips that you listening right now can actually use to make your spoken English sound, well, more native-like.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So Jordan starts with something maybe a bit surprising. This idea that perfect grammar isn't actually the main goal.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Oh,
Because we spend so much time learning grammar rules, right?
Yeah.
But the conversation points out that, native speakers, we bend the rules. We use informal bits, contractions all the time, gonna, wanna, couldas, and idioms too. It's what makes speech sound relaxed, not like you're reading from a grammar book.
it makes total sense when you think about it. Sticking rigidly to every single rule can make you sound a bit stiff, a little too formal maybe.
Definitely. And that's what Alex in the source chat wants to get away from.
Okay, so moving past just grammar, Alex also mentioned something else super common. Native speakers sound fast, like really fast.
Oh, absolutely. That perception of speed is a huge hurdle. Jordan brings up two key things here: connected speech and dropping sounds.
Connected speech, like how words link together.
Exactly. The example given was, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Often morphing into, what you doing?
Right. What you do, you hear it all the time, just disappear or blend.
Or, I want to eat becomes, I want to eat. It's about smoothness and, honestly, efficiency in speaking.
So for you listening, if you find native speech quick or hard to follow sometimes, understanding this blending isn't just about listening better.
No, it's also about starting to use it yourself. It helps your own speech flow more naturally. It's like the words aren't separate blocks anymore.
More like a stream.
Yeah, a stream, a melody, less clunky.
Okay, so how do we actually get used to this faster blended sound? Jordan suggests a technique called shadowing.
Ah, shadowing. Yes. This is a really active technique.
How does it work exactly?
It's not just repeating words. It's trying to copy everything. The tone, the exact sounds, the rhythm, the ups and downs of the voice.
The intonation.
The intonation, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole musicality of it. Jordan suggests starting small, maybe short sentences, then building up.
It really forces you to listen intently, doesn't it?
It does. And it trains your mouth muscles, your ear. You start to internalize those patterns.
Alex, in the conversation, apparently mostly reads dialogues.
Yeah.
So this is presented as something new, this active mimicry.
Right. And that's a key shift. Moving from passive reading to actually speaking out loud.
Which brings us to the next point. The importance of just talking out loud.
Yes. You've got to vocalize.
Yeah.
And Jordan adds a really useful, if slightly scary tip: record yourself.
Oh, the self-recording hurdle. Everyone hates hearing their own voice,
Well,
right?
pretty much. But it's so valuable. You compare your recording to a native speaker, and you suddenly hear things you didn't even realize you were doing.
Like pronunciation quirks, or maybe your rhythm is a bit off?
Exactly. It gives you that objective feedback. It helps you see, or rather hear, the gap between how you think you sound and how you actually sound.
So a question for you listening might be, when was the last time you really listened to yourself speaking English?
It's a powerful tool for self-correction.
Okay, so we've got connected speech, shadowing, speaking aloud, but there's more to sounding natural than just the mechanics, right? What about intonation?
Huge. Absolutely huge. Intonation, that rise and fall of your voice, it carries so much meaning.
Like, it's not just what you say.
But how you say it. Jordan uses a great example. You're going out. Rising pitch, clearly a question.
Versus.
You're going out. Falling pitch. Statement. Same words, totally different message, purely based on the melody.
Getting that right adds like a whole layer of emotional context and naturalness.
Definitely. It stops you sounding flat or, robotic. It makes your English more expressive.
Okay, another interesting bit Jordan mentioned. Fillers. The ums. Likes,
Ah, yes. Fillers.
Yeah.
Often seen as a bad habit, right? Learners are usually told, cut them out.
Yeah, avoid them at all costs.
But Jordan points out that, well, native speakers use them all the time. Not excessively, hopefully.
Right.
But they use them to sound more casual, more relatable. It gives you a moment to think, makes the conversation flow more naturally.
So it's not about never using them, but using them appropriately.
Precisely. Too many sounds hesitant, but none at all can sound a bit rehearsed, almost artificial.
It adds to that conversational rhythm. Okay, got it. Now, vocabulary. Alex asks about slang.
hmm And Jordan's advice is pretty practical. Slang is fine for very casual chats, but maybe not the main focus.
So what is the focus then?
Idioms and phrasal verbs, those are crucial. Think about hang out, give up, figure out, look into,
Things you hear constantly.
constantly. And they often don't translate word for word. Learning these is key to sounding natural in everyday situations.
And learning them as chunks, right? Like, I'm so happy for you, not just happy and you separately.
Exactly. Learning vocabulary in phrases and common collocations, it makes your speech much smoother because you're using pre-built blocks that native speakers use without thinking.
Okay, makes sense. But all this practice, shadowing, recording, learning phrases, has got to be put to use, right? Real world practice.
Absolutely critical. Jordan really emphasizes this. Talking with native or fluent speakers is where it all comes together.
You get that instant feedback.
Instant feedback, yeah.
Yeah.
On your pronunciation, your flow, whether you sound natural. It builds confidence like nothing else.
But what if finding native speakers is tough? Not everyone has easy access.
True. And Jordan offers some good alternatives. There are language exchange apps, online groups. Those are great.
Okay.
But also the suggestion to just talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, like narrate what you're doing. Okay, now I'm making coffee.
Yeah.
Or describe your day out loud. Even talk to the mirror.
Talking to the mirror, it sounds a bit funny, but I can actually see how that would help. You see your mouth move, you become more aware.
It builds fluency and awareness even when you're alone.
Okay, let's shift slightly. What about common pitfalls? Things learners do that make them sound less natural. Jordan mentioned a few.
Yeah, big one is overthinking grammar while you're speaking. It just makes you sound hesitant and, well, unnatural.
Stuttering over verb tenses in your head.
Right. Another is using language that's too formal for the situation. The example was, I do not like it, instead of the much more common.
I don't like it.
Exactly. Avoiding contractions is a dead giveaway often.
And what about delivery?
Ah, yes. Delivering everything in a flat monotone. You need that emotion, that variation in pitch and pace that native speakers naturally use.
So not enough listening practice could be a root cause there too. Not internalizing the sound.
Definitely. You need to hear it a lot to absorb that rhythm and intonation.
Okay, this is a lot of great advice, but it might feel overwhelming. What's the takeaway on the path forward? How do you actually improve?
I think the key message from Jordan is patience and consistency. Progress takes time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right. Small steps.
Small, consistent steps. Even just 15 minutes a day of focused practice, listening, shadowing, speaking aloud, it adds up significantly over time. Build the habit.
And Jordan also said, be kind to yourself, right? Even native speakers mess up.
Absolutely crucial. We all stumble over words sometimes. The goal isn't perfection. It's clear, confident communication. Can you get your message across effectively?
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. If we boil down everything we've pulled from this conversation, what are the key actions for you, our listener, aiming for that more natural sound?
Well, first, try shadowing, actively mimic native speakers. Second, make speaking aloud a regular thing, maybe even record yourself. Third, really pay attention to intonation and connected speech. Try to use them. Fourth, don't be afraid of fillers. Use them naturally.
Okay.
Fifth, focus on learning those common phrasal verbs and idioms. And finally, sixth, get real practice whenever you can, even if it's just talking to yourself.
Fantastic practical steps. Okay, so for you listening, here's something to think about, a little challenge maybe. Pick just one thing from that list. Maybe shadowing a short clip, or consciously using a contraction like don't instead of do not next time you speak.
Yeah, just one small thing.
Try it out, see how it feels, how it changes things. And ask yourself this. What single small shift in how you speak English could actually make the biggest difference in how natural you sound?
Ooh, good question to ponder.
Something to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.